Welcome to the first episode of VR Visionaries, a new series on this channel where we take a look at some lesser known virtual reality titles while taking a deeper dive into the stories behind those developing them. So let's get this started with the first game in the series, Singularity 5. So Singularity 5 is a wave-based arcade-style shooter, and I know how some of you feel about that, but please let me explain why it's totally worth your time. First off, it's a beautiful game, and when I say that, I mean it. It's pure eye candy. Everything from the guns you shoot to the levels you go through, and even the enemies you face against, they all look stunning. Then we have to mention the soundtrack, which was developed fully in-house at Studio Monochrome by Guillaume. Sorry if I mispronounced your name, but the music was fit in so perfectly and I could not help but bring that up making this video. I mean, seriously, just take a listen. Sounds good, doesn't it? Anyways, let's move on to gameplay. It's solid and well polished. It's also fairly challenging. In fact, maybe a little too challenging at times. It's easy to get overwhelmed fast, but it had me moving a lot more than I expected it to. It was a nice surprise. Though sometimes it did kind of remind me of a faster paced Super Hot with the way you have to dodge some of those shots. With all that said though, they have recently patched in an easy mode to help with the difficulty and make it much more accessible. The gameplay loop revolves around swapping between weapons and throwing these really cool looking grenades to survive an onslaught of robots resulting in a futuristic rendition of Paris. It's the robot uprising and man has it never looked this good. It's up to you to stop it, and as you face various types of enemies through 5 different stages, each a very different setting than the last, that'll be sure to have you in awe just on the architecture around them. Singularity 5 will have you ducking and dodging bullets and lasers as well as knocking back explosives and clearing your view of these black crystals meant to blind you. The whole game is about a 90-minute long experience, which normally I would be against, but for their asking price of $10, I can't knock on it. It's definitely one of the more well-polished VR titles out currently. I really recommend this game to anyone who enjoys wave-based shooters and likes to aim for a high score, or to those who love the spectacle that is virtual reality. Visual eye candy is a fair word to describe what the developers over at Monochrome have accomplished here. Now that you know a bit more about the game, let's take a deeper dive into the creative minds behind it. I had the opportunity to talk to one of the devs over at Monochrome and learn more about its progress from an idea to a finished product, as well as learn a bit about the team that designed it. So let's start with the team. Monochrome is a Paris-based studio with 5 passionate people behind it. They are mainly focused on 3D real-time experiences in VR. It really is their specialty. The team is made up of gamers from all generations, all with the same belief of virtual reality being the next big step in gaming. And I mean it. I'll put a link below to their manifesto of 10 principles that make good VR. Singularity 5 was also a fully self-funded game. So where did the idea come from? Well, Singularity 5 was definitely a passion project for the team. The game was born from a common passion for the city of Paris, as well as the aesthetic of fashion and jewelry, and it really does show. As soon as the idea of a robot uprising in a luxurious city came to be, they wanted to make a futuristic version of Paris. Originally, they only made one test level, so a quick gameplay demo in a gray box environment containing only 2 different enemies, a primitive version of a boss, and 1 gun with music from Metallica playing on loop in the background was it. They found themselves playing the demo over and over, slowly adding new weapons, some new enemies, until they realized that they needed to make it a full game. Now with all game development, there's obstacles in your way. So what were some of the obstacles faced when developing Singularity 5? Well, going into game development isn't easy. I think most people understand that, but it's impossible to anticipate how many difficulties and problems arise when dealing with the stages of game design. Everything from concept art to texturing to gameplay and even sound design, with everything else in between. The most common obstacle they faced was the comfort of knowing the mechanics at the start and thinking they were pretty clear, but as soon as they had people play test it, they wouldn't play at all like they were expected to. A few examples being that at the start they required you to grab the guns, which meant some players were losing them, or how originally the black crystals would appear anywhere instead of a direction of your attacker. Playtests like this definitely led to every core mechanic getting reworked several times over. The best example of this would be grenades. Currently, the player can spawn grenades and throw them, but at first they had to be grabbed over the shoulder. They even reworked the tutorial twice, but still they found people forgetting they were there. Then they changed it to being spawned from anywhere, and then came the issue of throwing a grenade. Playtesters were struggling to land their throws in desired locations. So instead of following physics, they accelerate based on both the velocity of the throw and the direction the player is facing, which works surprisingly well for me, I must say. I'm not the best at throwing in VR, but I had no issue in this game, and that might be why. You wouldn't know it, but a lot goes behind making a simple throwing mechanic in VR, just to make it feel like nothing is going on at all. Lastly, I asked for a message to the fans or to those interested in their game. I'll let them speak for themselves. Take a listen.
Singularity 5 was a real passion project, and we made the game because we wanted to create something that we felt was missing in the gaming landscape, and a game we could truly enjoy ourselves. I've been playing the game pretty much every day for the best part of 6 months, and I still enjoy playing it just as much as the first day. There's no marketing goal behind it or sales pitch really. We just made it as well as we could, and we made it in the way we wanted it to be from the start to the end. It's pretty unique to see people get into the game and go, wow, that's beautiful, and the next second they get into a frenetic gunfight with weird robots. My mother almost punched me in the face trying to get rid of grenades in the game, so that might be the best sales pitch I can give you. I hope you will try it and give us your feedback. That's the most we can ask for. So thank you for your support and have fun. Cheers.
So let me just conclude by saying thank you to Studio Monochrome and the team member who took the time out of their day to answer some questions. It really means a lot to me, so thank you. I also want to give a thanks to those watching and would like to ask what questions you would like to hear answered from developers in future episodes on this series. I hope you all enjoyed, but be sure to subscribe for the next episode in the series. Don't forget to like, comment, and hit the notification bell below. Have a great day, and peace.